This video shows you how easy it is to add data from online resources to your ArcGIS Pro project. Make sure that you have your catalog pane open. If you do not see that, go to View on the menu and then choose the catalog pane. From here, note that you can toggle between the project, which looks at resources on your computer, like folders and databases, as well as the portal. So the different icons on the right look at different parts of your online ecosystem. So the icon on the left just only shows my content. So this is data that is sitting on ArcGIS Online under my own profile. Those are the ones that I have highlighted as being a favorite. The items found in here are all part of groups that I belong to. So this could be items that other people specifically shared with me, or a group that I own. This is really important because this is how we can securely share information between different users. The next one is my organization. So this is any data that anybody in my organizational account has access to. This is the Wild West, where you can have access to everything. There must literally be millions of data sets on here. And you can see there is quite a lot of Idaho content on here as well. For example, Idaho counties in the Idaho State taxing districts hosted by the Idaho State Tax Commission. So when you're using the generic ArcGIS Online, it is always important to verify the source. Some of the data could just be somebody experimenting or just somebody who has nothing to do with the organization whose data they are hosting. Finally, and this is rather cool, the Living Atlas is all curated data by Esri themselves. And so there are really amazing data sets in there. For example, if you wanted to take a look at all recent earthquakes, this is data coming straight in from the USGS, and you can see all the earthquakes. So if I wanted to add data from my own project, I click on my own content, and then I can just bring in the information by clicking and dragging it over. I'll right click and zoom to this data here, and you now see parts of my story map about polders in the Netherlands. Another way to add data that is hosted online as a GIS service is to directly just copy the link online and then bring it directly into your ArcGIS Pro project. So for Idaho, I'd like to recommend the Idaho map.idaho.gov. From here, you can go to Open Data. And let's say that you are interested in bringing in some administrative boundaries. One of the boundaries we have are the Idaho voting precincts. And in this Open Data, I can go ahead and I can click on I want to use this, and then go to the API resources. And I'm going to pick the Geo service. I'll click on View. And this is good because this screen seems somewhat confusing, and it is. So if you look at the header, we can take out everything after feature service / and then a number. So let's take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to copy this URL, and then back in my ArcPro project, I can go to Map, Add Data, from Path, paste it in, then click Add. Okay, so let me zoom to this layer, which will bring us right back to Idaho. And we can see all the voting precincts. Another good place to look for data is to go to gis.idaho.gov, click on GIS data, and this will take us to an open data portal, which has links directly to the open data portal for different agencies in Idaho, as well as a search feature. So for example, if we're looking for irrigation organizations, we can find a map that has the data on it. In this case, it might be good to click on I want to use this, and then click on create a map. This will automatically open up ArcGIS Online. And then from here, it will give you access to the layer itself. So to go from here, I'm going to click on it. Then in the properties, I can go down to information, and then click on the link to go to the irrigation organizations layer. So maybe at this point, it's interesting to remove the 0, because this might sometimes also be a great way to find more data. So this service, in this case, only includes one layer. However, many services can include 5 or 10 or even more different layers. So there might be other information here that you are interested in. Okay, for now, I'm going to click again on irrigation organizations. And so in this case, we have a map server, but look for the number at the end, which indicates the layer in this service. 0 is always the first layer. Go back to your ArcPro project, click on Add Data from Path, and paste it in there. Okay, a third way to find data will bring us back to gis.idaho.gov. And in this case, I am going to the Idaho Department of Water Resources. So let's go to their open data site. And from here, we can browse data, we can look at maps. So let's browse their maps. And this is a good one. So let's look at their water right locator. Now, depending on how they have set up their map, you may be able to get descriptions for each one of the layers. So in this case, they have a public land survey system layer. By clicking on the dots at the end, I can go to description, which again takes me to a page that should look familiar now. And so here you can tell that there are multiple layers. So the PLSS is a combination of 3 other layers. So I'll click on PLSS, I'll copy the URL, and then go back to my ArcGIS Pro project, map, add data from path, paste it in, and add. And I'll have to go and zoom in pretty tight because it will be a pretty detailed data set. There we go.